What's up guys, I'm Truman Lee, and today I will be doing a gift guide of sorts, kind of a different video than I am used to making, but today we're going to be going over some of the things that you should get a baseball player for Christmas in 2020. So first item on the list are gloves. Now gloves are so important to baseball players. Obviously the number one thing that you need to play baseball along with a baseball bat. I will be going over some more expensive gloves and then also some budget gloves, as well as expensive and budget options for the other items on this list. So the first gloves that I recommend are the Wilson A2000 and the Rawlings Heart of the Hide. Both of these are very good gloves. They'll last you for a long time, and I definitely recommend them. The second gloves I recommend are very expensive. They are the best models that both of these companies make. Wilson A2Ks and Rawlings Pro Preferred. I have a Wilson A2K right in the background there, and I absolutely love it. The leather on both of those gloves are absolutely amazing, and I 100% recommend it, but it is very expensive, both around $370 each. And here are a few tips before you buy one of these gloves for a baseball player. First of all, what position do they play? That's the most important thing that they need in a glove. So infield, second base, shortstop, and third base usually use an 11 and 1/4 inch glove to a 12-inch glove, so I definitely recommend those for infield. And first base usually use a 12.5 inch to 12 3/4 inch glove, and catcher usually about 32.5 inches to 34.5 inches. For outfield, you're going to be looking at 12.5 to 12.75, just like first base. So if you are going to buy a more expensive glove for your player, I definitely recommend watching a guide on YouTube on how to buy a glove, because there are so many different gloves out there and you have to pick which one would be right for your player. So now I'll be going over some more budget gloves. Same sizing rules apply to these as any other glove. First, I definitely recommend the Rawlings Player Preferred. Earlier I went over the Pro Preferred, but this is the Player Preferred. I have had two of these gloves in my career, and I have loved both of them. One I used for about 3 years. Now it's super floppy. Here, I'll actually show you. So here is my Rawlings Player Preferred. As I said, I used this for about 3 years and it is super floppy, but it did last me quite a bit. And my second Rawlings Player Preferred, this one is in a lot better shape. This is my first base mitt. It is 12.5 inches, and it's actually really good, especially for a budget glove. These will run you around $50 to $60 depending on which model you get. So some other budget gloves, I definitely recommend the Rawlings R9 series. Those are going to be about $80 to $90, I'm pretty sure, and those are pretty good, just like the Rawlings Player Preferred. Alright, it's time for bats. I'm actually only going to be doing BB-Core bats, which are the high school and college standard level bats. So if your player is not in high school, I'm sorry. There's a ton of USA, which is the Little League bats, and USSSA bats that are great. And actually most of those bats are just gonna be good for any player. But BB-Core bats is where it gets a lot more specific to the player, because BB-Core bats cannot be perfect. That is the rule of BB-Core bats. A perfect bat would mean that it is super light and super balanced with a super big sweet spot, and it hits the ball super far. And with BB-Core you can't have a bat that does that, because that would be way too good. So my number one pick for BB-Core bats is the DeMarini Voodoo 1. Now this is an absolutely insane bat. If you watch the Baseball Bat Bros videos, then you will know this bat is amazing. and they crowned it the best one-piece BB core of 2020, which is a big honor because there are a lot of one-piece BB core bats. Now that bat will cost you about $250, and it is definitely a good buy. Another bat I recommend is also DeMarini brand. It is the DeMarini The Goods one piece. This is also a great bat, just like the Voodoo one, but it'll be a little bit more end loaded, so it'll be probably better for your older high school players like juniors and seniors because it'll be heavier to swing. A brand new bat that just came out, the Marucci Cat 9 and Cat 9 Connect. These are both really great bats, but they will definitely be better for older players, just like the DeMarini The Goods one piece. Here's my budget bat recommendation. This is actually a really great bat, especially for only $100, the String King Metal Pro. Now the String King Metal Pro doesn't have the biggest sweet spot, but it does hit the ball very, very far. It is quite a bit end loaded, but I think it should work for any level high school player. Now for wood bats. So Viper Bats is my favorite wood bat company because they actually make their bats all from hand. They use hand split billets of wood, which means they actually chop the wood themselves into billets for the bats. Unlike other companies that use machines to cut all the billets, and hand split wood makes the bats way more durable. This thing is absolutely hard as a rock. Another wood bat brand I recommend is Louisville Slugger, the classic. Tons of people like Louisville Slugger, but they are going to be quite a bit more expensive than companies like Viper Bats. Here are my cleat recommendations for 2020. First off, the New Balance 3000 V4s. I totally love these cleats. They're so comfortable. The best part is the lace cage. It's this little thing inside of the tongue of the shoe, and you can actually just tuck your laces right into there, and then you won't trip over your laces, and that's awesome. So I have the New Balance 3000 V4s in the turf shoes, the plastic / molded bottom cleats, and metal cleats. I recommend all of them. They're absolutely great. But one tip, buy them on baseballsavings.com. You will save a ton of money on these cleats as they are a little bit more spendy. They're about $70 I think on the New Balance website. But Baseball Savings has them for only $40, which is absolutely great. The other cleats I recommend, I don't actually have these, but a ton of major leaguers have these for their ankle support, the Nike Alpha Huarache Elite cleats. Now these cleats are supposed to have great ankle support, as I already said, and they're also supposed to be pretty dang light, so you can run your fastest. Those are my only two recommendations for cleats, as I usually stick to New Balance for the cleats, so I don't know a whole ton of different cleats. I know the Adidas Adi Zeros, I think is what they're called. Those are also some pretty great cleats, but I would recommend the New Balance and Nike cleats. Now for the helmets. First of all, the helmet that I own, the Easton Pro X. I like this helmet. It's pretty comfy, and you can get it with a face guard, so that way you will have more confidence in the batter's box. I think they run you about $50 to $60. I'm not completely sure. Now the number one helmet I recommend, this is the same one that all major league players use, the Rawlings Match. Now the Rawlings Match looks really, really cool. You can also get it with the optional face guard, just like the Easton Pro X, and I definitely recommend it. Now for the last section, the other protective gear. First of all, I recommend EvoShield, the EvoShield Pro SRZ series. They have those in elbow guards and leg guards, and they are supposed to totally, completely absorb all the pain from getting hit in both of those places. Another brand I recommend, I personally don't like the look of these, but lots of people say they are great, especially some of my teammates. The G-Form elbow and leg guards. These ones are supposed to be pretty good, and lots of people say that they are great, so I recommend them as well. So that is everything that I have, but I'll give you a few bonus items that I think are really cool. The frost gloves. These are great for playing catch in the winter. It's a glove that just goes on your throwing hand, and it provides great warmth to your hand while also having grips to grip the ball. Another random item I recommend is Evo Shield compression sleeves, which go on either arm that you want, and they help you not get micro tears in your muscles while you're playing, and they're really great. I own one and I love it. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.